In. We are here now. We are live. We are all so direct. London to Texas. She lives, she sells. Desiree Cruz, who is a magnificent dating and relationship coach, helping high achieving women who have everything but the relationship they truly desire. She works on emotional healing. She works on dating strategy. She works on lasting love, helping women to step into boundaries and feminine leadership with emotional clarity and self-awareness, so they're able to find a dating strategy that honors their standards. The relationship ready, mindset ready, communication ready. And we are ready to welcome Desiree Cruz. Shirley, she says, speak to me, sister. How are you doing? Hope you are well.
Well, after that, I feel like I need some confetti and some fanfare. That was amazing.
Amazing. I think we can
I'm
organize
I'm
that.
great. I'm great. Like I said, I'm doing Oh, there we go. There was some fanfare.
Yeah, we can do that, my sister. I got you. I told you I got you. 100.
Oh, I love it. No, I'm doing awesome today, and I was talking about the crazy weather in Texas, so I'm gonna try to speak as slowly as I can so you guys can hear me. I'm home with my 2 teenage boys. They are in the other room right now doing their boy thing. And I just love that. I've designed my life as a successful woman to fit what I love, and that is my friends, my family, and taking care of them. So, yeah.
Amazing. Speak to who do you love working with most? Are you telling me it's women over 40 who like they've climbed the corporate ladder for X amount of time? Are you telling me it's women who are creatives? Like, who really sets your heart on fire in terms of who you want to serve?
I really love working now, the age range is so variable right now because I feel like we don't have this. Yes, there's generations, but we don't have this set. Like, people from 35 to 55 can be dating all of each other. So it's kind of that group. Most of the time, it's the people that have really never had a successful relationship. They may have been married before, but it ended in divorce or breakup, and they just are struggling to find that piece in their life where, like, the final piece of feeling loved. And I love working with women. I do work with couples and men, but I love working with women that have a lot of desire for growth and
Wow.
personal understanding. They
Yes.
they really have to have some kind of foundation of what they want,
Hmm.
and then just have being able to reflect back and mirror back to them and be able to give them some insights on things because we can't see our own stuff. So we need somebody to kind of from the outside looking in say, "Hey, have you looked at this? Maybe this is an issue. Maybe this is what's coming up for you." And I like working with those women that are working in on their relationships and on their self-love because that's really, yes, I'm a relationship coach, but the most important relationship that anyone has in their entire life is a relationship they have with themselves.
Yes, I agree.
Yeah, and
That's
so
ultimately it.
that's why embodied love is about being rooted in yourself and ready, and then that
Beautiful.
radiance just, like, blasts out to everyone so that they can feel it, they can magnetize the thing that they want. But we can only love ourselves or other people as much as we love ourselves. So, we gotta work on that first.
Amazing. And I'm a big advocate of sales equals self-love, because
Mm.
if we really love ourselves, love our vision, we go out there unapologetically to serve. Why? People suffer if they don't hear from us. And self-love, if two people say no to us, we still love ourselves regardless.
Absolutely. Rejection's gonna happen. If you sit inside a room and never ask. I worked in sales for a long time, actually. I used to work for
Wow.
Nordstrom. I worked for Massage Heights. I helped design a lot of their sales programs there. And one of my favorite phrases is, "If you don't ask, the answer is always no." So if you're sitting in your room reading self-help books and you're swiping on the dating apps and you never ask the question or you never put yourself out there, you're never going to have the relationship that you're looking for.
100%. One of my favorite sayings actually is yes lives in the land of no.
Mm-hmm.
And so because so many people are afraid to really lean into no, then that's what stops them from maybe moving forward in that regard. Tell me, how do you get visible? Like, your website is very opulent. very classy, premium. Love that. But how are you getting visible to your people?
So my primary marketing strategy is usually through Facebook.
Okay.
I also have a lot of visibility through Google Maps here locally, and it's interesting you pointed out my website because my website was actually designed by a woman who runs a huge community here in San Antonio, about 10,000 people, and she supports entrepreneurs, she supports women specifically, and she does these big networking events, and she's actually the one that helped me rebrand. I wanted to be different than any other relationship dating coach out there because I am. And I wanted to reflect that kind of dark romance book talk woman that's sitting there fantasizing about the relationship of her dreams and have her feel a comfortable, safe space while still reflecting my own self and femininity. And that's where she went with it, and I love it. I absolutely love what she's done. And you can see my sister actually designed my backdrop and wall that
Wow.
reflects that as well.
Amazing. It's these small attention to details that make the big shifts and things
Mhm.
like this. So love that for you. Tell me, what is causing divorce? I know that amongst entrepreneurs, the divorce rate is 50%. Um, what's causing it? Is it the men's fault? Are we going to blame the men here? Like, are the men?
No.
Yeah, I mean, come on, you know what I mean? Like, yeah. But often what I hear as well is that women initiate 80% of the time. Is that correct? They initiate the divorce? Or
It's a pretty close statistic. I haven't looked up most recent ones for this year, but that is a pretty close statistic.
yeah,
You asked
yeah.
like
Give
some
some
really
insights, please. Yeah.
yeah, you asked some really great questions, and there's a lot that goes into that. Um, so one, my program, we do not blame men. That we don't blame them and we don't shame them. We'll point out behaviors that are not a good fit for what we want, but we do not blame men because that doesn't get you anywhere. Pointing your finger out towards something else is giving away your power and your control. So, what we do more of is actually focus on where did we make those choices to be with that kind of person? And why are we doing that? And if we don't want to be experiencing that anymore, what do we need to shift within ourselves and our own behaviors and patterns in order to
Hmm.
have a different experience? And I think when it comes to men out there, I don't like the idea of the toxic masculinity. I actually say that there is no toxic masculinity, there is a lack of masculinity. So when you see someone out there that somebody would label as toxic, to me, that person lacked role models. They lack the provider, protector kind of mentality that a truly masculine man is embodying. He's confident, he's secure in himself, he's kind, he's compassionate. Um, and he doesn't do those things that the toxic men do because he has secure masculinity in that sense. So, why do women initiate the divorce more than the men? Well, women often don't speak up early enough in their relationship and they settle and they allow a lot of behaviors and they shove it down, and eventually they just get tired. And the men don't tend to see that because they're still doing the same thing. There's never been any change or any indication, and they're not paying attention to whether or not she's happy. And if she's not speaking up either, I mean, it goes both ways, then they kind of get blindsided in some ways. Now it does happen the other side. I mean, I've been blindsided myself in a relationship, and that was an interesting experience because I felt like I was asking the questions. I felt like I was, trying to make changes and things like that. And for that person, they just got so in their own head about being like in a victim mentality. So instead of, when I would ask the questions or I would try to make the changes, instead of having the conversation, they would just go straight to, well, I guess I'm a monster. I guess I'm a victim. I'm not a good fit. I'm out.
Hmm.
And that's not a good fit for me. And then that's actually for a growth minded woman, that's not a good fit because she's going to want to be able to grow with someone. The reality is we change. I think it's Youngblood. He talked about having to fall in love with someone 7 times throughout the lifetime because you're going to change throughout your life. And if you want a long lasting relationship, you have to be able to have those conversations. Relationship and intimacy is not built in peace, it is built in the conflict and our ability to overcome and come back to connection afterwards.
I like the answer. I like the candidness of how you speak and the vulnerability in terms of, and it's very, your insights are unique and sharp, which is why I understand you say, look, in terms of relationship coaching, like, I do it my way, which is refreshing and which is good to hear.
Well, yeah, I mean, my whole coaching platform was built on education, studies, workshops, certifications, but more importantly, it was built on my own healing journey. Like I had to go through a lot of these experiences and take that work and apply it and say, okay, well, how does this work? And where do we combine things? Where do we leave them out? And so I've used myself as a case study, so to speak.
Yeah. Tell me, how would you like to be remembered when it's all said and done?
I'd like to be remembered as someone that is compassionate, creates a safe place for people, and allows people to grow and change the way that they want to.
Mm,
A lot of my friends say like it's easy to talk to you. You're comfortable. It's a safe
yeah,
place. I
yeah.
can open up. I get all the time, "Oh, well, I wouldn't normally say this, but I feel okay telling you this."
Hmm.
And I wanna be remembered for embodying my most important attribute to myself, and, the first covenant is love, being a loving person.
Hmm. What does leadership mean to you? Leadership in relationships and leadership in general. For me, leadership starts with self-leaderships. Um, I often speak to my clients that, hey, you can't take them somewhere you haven't been yourself.
Yeah. So, leadership overall to me means having the confidence, care, and compassion to be able to lead someone where they're going. And sometimes that's not always your own plan. Sometimes it's actually allowing them to guide you to where you're leading them and to listen. My first major corporate job was with Nordstrom. And I love their culture. One of the first things they taught us is that it's not leadership, it's servant leadership. Servant leadership means you start in the stockroom shoe department and you work your way up into corporate CEO. And even
Hmm.
at CEO, you're willing to go in and stock shoes if that's what needs to happen in order to show your staff and your team that you are willing to do it and you know how to do it. It's about being very humble.
Hmm.
Leadership in relationship is the same, I believe. It is about being humble. It is about listening, guiding, looking at what's the win 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 in every situation for everyone involved. And doing so with, like I said, the confidence, but also the humility to say, we might need to pivot here. Or, yes, you have really great insight in that regard. Leadership is not dictatorship, especially in relationship.
Amazing. What book has really guided you in terms of your coaching and things? If I dig over here, I've really,
I see you got let them back there.
yeah, these two. So in terms of how
Oh,
I
that's a great
work with
one.
women, this book has helped me tremendously, like learn how to connect with women, and yeah, this has taught me a lot in terms of connection with the feminine. So that's been very helpful over the while. And this book has helped me create my whiteboard sales process,
Mhm.
where if I'm adding 10 times more value than somebody else, then the sale will come my way in the sales process. So what sorts of things are you reading in terms of to forward your business, number one, and your relationship culture, number two?
Yeah. So one of the first books that I'll go over is actually Ice to Eskimos by John Spolstra. I used to work for hockey teams in sports marketing. And when you're talking about sales and things like that, Ice to Eskimos was great because it was kind of that offering 10 times more value, over promising and under delivering. It wasn't about lowering your cost, it was about creating your value and getting
Hmm.
people to understand that value. So I love that in terms of a sales book. The carrot principle is great in terms of business leadership and realizing that not everybody is actually motivated by money. Most people are actually motivated by recognition and feeling like they
Yes.
belong, which also
Yes.
is a relationship concept. It's not actually, about the money that a man makes. It's actually, how does he make you feel? And are you feeling safe and secure? And do you feel like you belong? Overall personal development, I recommend The Big Leap by Gay
Yeah.
Hendricks all the
Yeah.
time.
Yeah.
Great book that talks about the ways that we self-sabotage and why we do it. And I also love that it talks about following your heart and being willing to take that leap, because when you are passionate about something and you are in your purpose, you think magic things happen around you all over. But if you never take that leap, or if you don't ask the question, the answer is always no. It goes back to
Hmm.
that, right?
Yeah.
Um, I was just talking, I also do some business consulting on the side still. And I was just talking to one of my clients this morning about the energy bus. And The Energy Bus is an amazing book. It talks about the 10 rules to ride the bus and the kinds of people that you should have on your team, but in your life. I actually was introduced to this book in a book club with my kids' school. It was like a PTA book club, and it has a companion book for your children. And so, what's really great about it is it's digestible for adults as well as kids. And it talks about removing, like, number one, energy vampires. Energy vampires are not allowed on your bus, whether it's in your business or in your relationship, your family, your friend. No energy vampires. Be with
Hmm.
people that are on the same ride that you're on. Protect your bus, right? And then when it comes to specifically relationships, I really love Alison Armstrong's work. She wrote a book called Understanding Men, and she also wrote a book about the Queen's Code. And she has a short little audio recording of one of her workshops called In Sync with the Opposite Sex. And what I
Mm.
love about her work is, again, it's about taking personal accountability, and that men and women are different. And if you are wanting to date a man, I ask this question because I coach a lot of queer couples as well, but most of them are, like I said, straight monogamous women. And I get a lot of women that come into a session and all they do is complain about men being men. And I asked them, I said, well, do you want to date a woman? Like, oh no. I said, so you're straight, right? Yep, yep. So you're attracted to men. Absolutely. Well, then you're going to have to start letting them be men. Not every behavior is a bad one. Men and women are different. We need to be different. So you cannot um, hate on a man because he wants to go fishing because that's where recharges and gets his peace. That's what you
Hmm.
love about him, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Is that is
Yeah.
that we are different, we think different, we're out of sync, and it's not that we can't have relationships, we have to have understanding between the two of us.
Amazing. Let them know how they can get in contact with you and who specifically you're looking to serve.
Yeah. So, like I said, I like to work with high achieving women, which means that you've already been successful in some way. And you know what success feels like, so now we can apply that success to your relationships. I'm looking for women that actually do love men and they want to have better, healthier relationships, but they also understand that they have to start with themselves. um
Hmm.
so I work internationally. Most of my coaching is over Zoom, or over video, and anywhere in the world and any time zone. The best way to get a hold of me is you can reach me at Desiree at DesireeCruz.com. You can find me at Desiree Cruz on Facebook. Or you can go straight to my website, embodiedlovemethod.com. And I'm pretty sure, Jay, you'll probably put some of those links in there. And if you know,
Yeah,
want to click on any
100%.
of them.
Yeah.
If you go to embodieddlove.com, you will see that you can take your own personal empowerment audit and you can see exactly where you're missing certain aspects, whether it's in boundaries, awareness, or healing. And if you want to join my community is a subscription-based community. You get a class every week with an integration guide and a live Q&A. And I have private coaching clients as well. So the community is awesome. There's already 10 plus classes back there for you to click through and learn about yourself and also about how to actually have more healthy long-lasting relationship.
Amazing. Desiree, thank you so much for your time
Absolutely.
today. Love your expertise. I love your embodiment. London to Texas, she leads, she sells. That's Desiree Cruz in the building, and we are out. Bang.